Greetings, Valencia students. Welcome to European History 2000, ancient Western Civ through the medieval as well as the Renaissance and Reformation era. My name is Dr. Lewis. It is a pleasure to be your instructor. And this is a basic video to introduce you to who I am, what this course is going to be all about, and what my expectations are of you as students here within this online format. You know a little bit about myself. Dr. Lewis. I am an internationally renowned scholar. I did my PhD work at the University of Strathclyde in Glasgow, Scotland. So I've been through a number of different international experiences, and it's one of the unique elements that I've brought to my 4.5 years of teaching at Valencia College. Prior to being a professor, I've been a very eclectic human being, and still am. And what defines me and my own interest in history as a social science as well as an element of the humanities is that I'm a highly compassionate soul, and I'm intrigued by history because history teaches us great lessons, really, about how to be better human beings. So, what are some of my expectations for you within this course? Dr. Lewis, sounds weird talking about myself in the third person, I would like you to fully engage in your education. If you're taking a class like this, you're paying for it, I want you to fully understand the materials that you are going through, to learn some things about yourself, and to allow yourself to grow and mature as you are learning about the past. The entire point of studying the past is so that we do not repeat the mistakes of the past. But also, in the ability to study the past, we can use history to understand about our own experience with the world and to inspire us to go out and to experience many places throughout the world. So we'll find as we go throughout the lectures, if there are places I'm lecturing about that I've been to, that I have personal stories about, is not only will I present course materials, but I will also present a bit of a personalized narrative to try and give history a human face. Until about 20 years ago, history was internationally renowned as one of the most horrible subjects for students to have to take, and that usually revolved around their experiences in high school. Oftentimes, high school administrations would hire on sports coaches who needed to fulfill some time in the classroom to fulfill their contractual obligations, and the course that was most often handed, particularly to football coaches, was history courses. And a football coach would be sent in with little to no background in history, given a textbook and said, simply read from the textbook and have people memorize a bunch of names, dates, and events. That's not history, that's trivia. History is a social science about the study of the eclectic experience of human beings throughout human civilization and the past. So, as a professional historian, I bring to the table here a very eclectic background. Prior to being a professor, I have been a professional actor. I worked for a number of years for Child Protective Services as an actor, teaching children about elements of good touch and bad touch for the protection of children. I've been an active minister for almost 15 years now with the Universal Life Church, having performed over 150 weddings and about 10 different burials. I also, up until the age of 30, which of course I'm under the age of 30, was also a professional musician. I've played in punk bands before, ska bands, folk bands, different alternative rock bands, a very active bass player, and I still like to engage in music off and on. Outside of my music career, I've also done my time within the service industry. I was a KFC manager for about 5 years with a great record that never once did I have an employee walk out, where my other managers had employees walk out on all the time because, well, they didn't treat them like human beings. I always treat people with dignity and with respect. That comes out of my background of being a minister. I've also been a fine dining chef in 3 different fine dining restaurants. I've tried my own stint at being an entrepreneur. I owned a bookstore for approximately 9 months until Amazon.com drove me out of business. Jeff Bezos, you bastard. I want my bookstore back. I've also been a promoter of cultural events. I started doing cultural events and promoting events starting, I think I was 16 years old, providing good spaces for young people to go out and to see bands, to see live performances, all sorts of things. I've owned 3 different record labels over time and helped to produce probably, 20 different albums, sort of lose track of things over time. I've been a domestic violence educator. I've been on the board of a number of different domestic violence groups, working very closely with women's issues. And the thing that is most dear to my heart, with my father being a Vietnam veteran, is I also spent some time working for the U.S. government at the Department of Veterans Affairs as a statistician. So when we talk about elements of war and conflict, oftentimes I will try to bring up elements of the soldier experience so we can understand how war, the reality of war, which we have a very hard time understanding in America, because for us it's about movies and video games, because we have not had a war on our soil since the American Civil War. So we think about war differently. It happens in other people's lands, and the veterans come back home afterwards, and everything's fine and dandy, right? Well, I can tell you, after working for the Department of Veterans Affairs, things are not fine and dandy. So we will try and bring in the voice of the veteran throughout our experience here. To get to the standard professional requirements required of Valencia College Administration, I need to take a moment to describe to you what is EUH 2000. The official course catalog describes it as a survey of ancient, medieval, and early modern Western civilization with an emphasis upon the political, social, and economic development. The course examines the ancient world, classical antiquity, the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, the Reformation, and the age of the religious wars, the origins of the modern state, and other topics. Gordon Rule course, in which the student is required to demonstrate college-level writing skills through multiple writing assignments. A minimum grade of C is required if EUH 2000 is used to satisfy Gordon Rule requirements. Let me put this in human terms. Over a 6-week period, we are going to cover almost 4,000 years of history. And since this is a Gordon Rule class, we have to write all of the time. So you'll be watching videos 4 different nights per week, and each night, after you watch a video, you will be required to write a 1 to 2 page minimum reflection essay, and we will go over that very soon. Essentially, we're going to take a huge amount of history and somehow make it fit into 6 weeks, which seems like an impossible task, but since I have been doing this for 20 years, we will make it possible. But it's going to take some work and dedication on your side. Oh, the joys not just of online school, but of online summer school. In a traditional classroom setting, within a traditional semester, a course like this would go out over 16 weeks. We are removing 10 of those 16 weeks and gonna do this in 6 weeks, which means it's very fast-paced. If you are not used to online education and the discipline that it takes to take a highly condensed, broad survey and to make this happen, this really is not the class for you. If you need this to require for requirements for graduation and you are not good at staying right on task, contemplate taking this a different semester, during one of the 16-week semesters versus a 6-week semester, because it is impossible to get through this class with any success without some elements of discipline, which means you need to organize yourself, because this course consists of almost 4,000 years of Middle East and European history. Over this time, we will have 24 different lectures. Of those 24 different lectures, you will be required to write essays upon 20 of the 24 lectures. Each of these essays will be a 1 to 2 page reflection essay. This is not a research essay. We will go into that in further detail. I do not want you in any way, shape, or form as we go through this course to try to answer any of these questions by asking Google. I realize that's a challenge in the modern world because in the 21st century, we are used to asking the great Google all sorts of different things. Not in this course. Any information you need to know will be provided within the course content of the lecture materials. Along with this, we are also going to have 2 different multiple choice exams based upon the readings of the Joshua Cole text entitled Western Civilization, Volume 1, Condensed Edition. You're lucky Valencia goes with the condensed edition because, let's just be honest, textbooks suck. They're horrible things. But it's the condensed edition, and I will try to condense the elements that we read from the textbook to try to make the multiple choice exams quite palatable and easy to guide through. So in the future, if you take EUH 2001, which I also teach, Modern European Civilization, you will learn about the ideas of John Locke and philosophers like Montesquieu, the concept of a social contract. Essentially, our classroom, you can think about it as a small society, and there are basic rules and obligations that all of you as students will have to abide by, and I as an instructor, the ruler over this domain, will also fulfill my own expectations. So, students are expected to, number one, write essays on lectures, not Google searches. If you are trying to find essays on the internet, or if you're using elements of outside research, the system flags those things for me. And if you are using outside research, you will get a 0% upon your essay. So just don't do it. The lectures themselves will have more than enough information that you will need to be able to write the elements of the reflection essays. After that, when you have turned essays in, I will give you comments and commentary about your essays, things that you need to improve on with elements of your structure, grammar, and style. It is your responsibility each week after you have submitted an essay and after I've graded it to go back into the Turnitin system and to look at the comments that I've given you and to make sure that if you are doing something wrong, such as, oh, don't do this, don't use a semicolon. There are far too many students in college who utilize semicolons all the time, and they have no idea how a semicolon works. I am a master of the semicolon, and if you use it incorrectly, it will make me angry. At one point, we'll have an announcement how to use the semicolon correctly. If you are comfortable with that announcement and would like to try the semicolon, please do so, but you'll get commentary like that all the time. Elements about capitalization rules, elements about comma use, elements about periods, elements about not using a semicolon, and I expect you, once I've given you some commentary back, that the next essay that you turn in, you will reflect upon that, and that you will revise that in your future essays. Along with that, you will be expected to turn in all work on time. I do not accept any late work. That being said, we have 24 different essay opportunities throughout this class, and you are only required to do 20 of the 24. So you get the opportunity to skip 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 essays you have opportunity to skip. If for some reason you or your family are impacted by elements of the coronavirus, I have full empathy and understanding with that. My own father was in an ICU unit in Michigan for about 3 weeks with the coronavirus. I have lost 15 friends throughout the world to this goddamn horrible virus, and so I get it. So if things like that are impacting you, if you let me know, I'm willing to make some more exceptions. But the elements of the essays, they will close at midnight on the days that they are due. If you try to turn in afterwards, it will not accept it. If you have technical problems though, and you email me to let me know you've had technical problems, and you email me a copy of the essay, I'm willing to make some exceptions here and there. But you can skip 4, and if you have larger issues going on involving the coronavirus, I will make some exceptions and allow you to skip a few more. Along with this, you need to make sure to revise your essays based upon the feedback that I give you, as well as I will post different announcements talking about elements of grammar and structure, because with this being a Gordon Rule class, the goal of this is to get you to advance to college level writing, which means you need to have some feedback. I was not a good writer until, well, actually, not even until my PhD dissertation. My PhD dissertation, all 250 pages of it, when my supervisor looked at it, is he absolutely ripped it apart. Now I had to go back through and to relearn many rules about grammar, proper use of things like comma. I will put in one of our first announcements a link to an add-on to put in your Microsoft Word Suite from Grammarly.com. It is free and it is incredibly helpful. I utilize it for every single writing that I do, whether it is a professional writing, whether it's an email, it's extremely helpful. Please make sure to pay attention to announcements as I give you commentary on such things, and to implement these suggestions I give when it comes down to your essay. In return for you following and abiding by all these rules, Dr. Lewis will be expected to, number one, give critical and supportive feedback. So if you're doing something wrong, I will call you out on it. I will help to give you the tools to revise and to correct such things. But also, if you are doing something right, I will praise you. You know, it's not like elementary school. I can't give you a little star sticker, although it would be fun if I could give star stickers through the virtual world. But I'm going to give supportive feedback as well. If you're doing something well, I will let you know. I will also do my best to grade your essays in a timely manner. During the summer session, I am teaching 4 different courses. That is a bit of a challenge when it comes down to things, but I've been teaching online for well over a decade now, so I'm pretty good. If once you turn your essay in by midnight, usually by the mid-afternoon the next day, is that I will have your essay graded and have some feedback for you. Along with this, if you send me any emails with any questions or any inquiries, I have to currently run a number of different personal and professional email accounts. I do not just teach at Valencia College, I teach at Florida Institute of Technology, and I am still linked in with a high school in Utah called St. George Academy that I helped to start approximately 3 years ago. I left that position at St. George Academy a couple of months ago and just moved back here to the Kissimmee area, but I have a whole lot of online obligations I try to fulfill every day. But I guarantee you, if you send me an email, you ask some type of inquiry, I will get back to you within 24 hours. So I will do my best to respond promptly to any student inquiries, and along with that, as you reflect upon some of these different elements of looking at the past, is I will try to give you support as you look at different ideas of not just history, but one of the things that we will implement in this class is that our final lecture of each week will be a lecture from the video-based online YouTube channel called The School of Life, where the School of Life looks at elements of ancient and medieval philosophy and tries to give practical ways of taking these ideas from the past and to apply them to our own lives here within the modern world. So I'll do my best to support your growth as a human being, because history is the most important tool we have to become better humans. And that's the point of studying something like this. Not to memorize names and dates, but to look at the past, look at the mistakes people have made, look at the positive choices people have made, and to utilize these things within our own lives. So, one of the most important lessons that students need to learn very early on when it comes down to their college career, particularly at a community college like Valencia College. And I emphasize this because I have taught both high school, community college, as well as I've taught at 3 different universities, and I'm still active with Florida Institute of Technology. Your time in college is not just about the content of classes that you're taking, but it's learning how to follow elements of basic directions being given to you to prepare you both for a potential future career of going to a 4-year university or for your own professional career. So if a professor puts forward certain expectations about format, about style, it is up to you as a student to pay attention to those basic directions and to utilize courses like this, not just to learn about the past, but to give you tools to prepare yourself for a future professional life. So, being a course that emphasizes writing as a Golden Rule course, we will have our reflection essays. Our reflection essay process entails you writing a minimum, and when I say minimum, I don't mean like, oh, there's 2 lines left at the end and I've flipped up my margins and my font size. A 1-page minimum reflection essay, which means I will give you several different questions to think about, 3 questions each time. I expect you to write what I would call a 3-paragraph essay, where each of the paragraphs will have a excellent topic sentence to start off the paragraph, where you'll answer each of the 3 questions, and you will write a minimum of 1 page, I hope something closer to 2 pages, based upon each of these different essays. You will have essays due upon Sunday night at midnight, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I intentionally try to break this up in a certain way so that you have a little break during the middle of the week. And so where it comes down to preparing for your weekends, that you have the opportunity to focus in upon your own personal life and to not have to worry about elements of your school life. So, Fridays and Saturdays, no work to do for me. Fridays and Saturdays are all yours. You should go out there and live and experience life. But Sunday, my apologies for any work upon the Sabbath. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you will have 4 essays due every single week, a total of 24 potential essay opportunities, and out of the 24, you will only have to do 2. In the module for our introduction, I'm going to have an essay template, a sample essay that I've written with the anonymous name of Russell Brand, which, if you know who Russell Brand is, you should make some comments and commentary within things. He is a wonderful, wonderful British comedian. But the essay template, I expect you to download it, to look at the format, and to utilize it as a template for your own writings. I want, out of each essay, for you to follow the following instructions. Number 1, 12-point Times New Roman font. That way it stays consistent. It helps me in understanding what your length is. So Microsoft Word by default goes to Calibri. Do not use the default of Calibri. Also, do not use the default of add extra space after paragraph. Remove that if you're utilizing Microsoft Word, and I recommend that you all utilize Microsoft Word. As Valencia students, you have access to the entire Microsoft suite. Please utilize that. Each of the body paragraphs will be double spaced without an extra space after the paragraph. On each side of your essay, you will have 1-inch margins. If you download the essay that I've written for you as a sample essay and use that as a template and simply use that and put your own name in and write your own stuff in, you'll have no problems with this. Along with this is not a course where you're using any type of MLA style. So, I don't need titles, I don't need dates. What I need is simply in the upper left-hand corner, your name, 1 paragraph indent, and to start off the body of your paragraph. So in the upper left-hand corner, have a header with simply your name and no other information. Utilize the sample essay template that I've given you, and you will be quite successful when it comes down to how these essays should be formatted. Even though my main emphasis as an instructor is about the elements of the experience and not the elements of the evaluation for grades, this is a college course, and we have to figure out some way of quantifying what you have done in this class and how you have succeeded. So this course is going to be worth a total of 1,000 points. And your essays that you write, there will be 24 essay opportunities. Of those 24, you only have to write 20 essays, and your essay will be based upon a grading rubric, which I will follow very strictly. Each part of the rubric is worth 7.5 points, which means the entire essay is worth a potential of 30 points. So, part of your essay will be based upon length, a minimum of 1 full page. If you go under 1 full page, you will lose points within this element of the rubric. Number 2, that you have answered all 3 of the questions that I have asked you about the content of the lecture materials that have been presented. That is also worth 7.5 points. So if you only answer 2 of the 3 questions, or one of the questions you don't answer in a very good way, is you will potentially lose points in there. Grammar and mechanics. What I'm talking about here is proper use of capitalization, proper use of having a topic sentence for your paragraph, proper use of things such as commas, periods, not using semicolons. 95% of you who use semicolons have no idea how a semicolon is supposed to function. If you do not think that you're an expert, please don't use the semicolon. You will lose points in there. So essentially, correct spelling, capitalization, and I realize in our modern world, these little things, these little swipey, lit up rectangle, stupid things, they make us lazy about spelling, about grammar. We will utilize this class because it is a writing-based class to work on our writing and our grammar. And the final point, quality and intellect. If you are only giving a sort of surface level of analysis of things, you'll lose some points. If you're not following the correct format, you'll lose some points. If you put time and effort into this, there's no reason why you cannot get the entire 7.5 points. So you will have 20 essays that are required out of the semester. Each of the essays will be worth 30 points, which means there are 600 points total of your reflection essays. So where did the other 400 points come from in your 1,000-point class? You will have two different multiple choice exams. The multiple choice exams, the questions will be based exclusively on the assigned text from Joshua Cole. I am actually going to use the questions straight from the database of the Norton company that published this, which means if you take time and effort, because it's untimed, it's open book, the questions I am using have been used by other instructors before. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Multiple choice exams are stupid. But I need to quantify in some way. It's required that I give you some type of exam. And since I think multiple choice exams are stupid, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if you understand what that means, I will be using questions straight from the Norton company. You will not be being watched. This will not be on a lockdown browser. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Most students who recognize that get 100% on the exams. If you focus in on that, it's untimed. Google might be your friend, or I will also have digital copies of the readings that I have assigned to you. So you can do things such as utilize the search function within an Adobe PDF file. Each of the exams will have 40 multiple choice questions. Each exam will be worth 200 points. You'll have two exams at 200 points each, which means a total of 400 points. So if we have 600 points for essays and we have 400 points for exams, 1,000 points possible. So, for those of you who are intrigued by this class so far and who don't know much about history, this next slide is optional. If you would like something entertaining, they will cover the entire history of the universe and the experience of humanity from a scientific aspect, but in a fun, intriguing, sarcastic, highly graphic, intriguing sort of way. The next slide is a 20-minute video entitled The History of Everything, I guess. This has been around on YouTube for a number of years. Perhaps some of you have seen it. I've utilized the censored version because the person who put this together, while they are brilliant, they're also kind of a potty mouth. And since this is a classroom setting, even though it's a college classroom setting, so I'm open to however you need to express yourself with whatever words, is I've used the classroom appropriate version. So if you would like to laugh for the next 20 minutes and to learn a whole lot about the entire history of everything that ever existed, as Bill Gates and other educators now say, what is called big history, watch this next slide. If you're not into entertainment and you're like, oh my god, Lewis, you've already gone on for 30 minutes, I don't want to watch anymore, it's cool, you can stop after this. There are no reflection essays based upon this, but there will be a short quiz and an assignment to do to revise an essay into the correct format before you can move on to the Week 1 module. So, welcome to European History 2000, plenty of students, and I'm excited for our adventure. 4,000 years of history in 6 weeks. Can we do it? Yes, we can. I think. I've taught this class before, but never in 6 weeks. This is an insane task we have, but I think we'll get through it, and we'll have a good time getting through it. But we need discipline. Discipline. Turn things in on time. And if you're having challenges, reach out to me on email and let me know. Namaste, and welcome to our course. Have a good time.
Hi, you're on a rock, floating in space. Pretty cool, huh? Some of it's water. Actually, most of it's water. I can't even get from here to there without buying a boat. It's sad. I'm sad. I miss you. How did this happen? A long time ago, actually never, and also now, nothing is nowhere. When? Never. Makes sense, right? Like I said, it didn't happen. Nothing was never anywhere. That's why it's been everywhere. It's been so everywhere, you don't need a where. You don't even need a when. That's how every it gets. Forget this. I want to be something, go somewhere, do something. I want things to change. I want to invent time and space. And I know it's possible because everything is here and it probably already happened. I just don't know when to start. And that's exactly where it started. Oh, I paused it. I think there's a universe now. What's it made of? Quarks and stuff. Ah, that's a thing. In a place. Don't like it? Try a new place. At a different time. Try to stick together because the world is going to get bigger and emptier. But it's not empty yet. It's still very full and about 1 jillion degrees. Great news, the quarks are now happily married in groups of 3, called a proton or a neutron. And there's something else flying around too that wants to join in but can't because it's still too... Great news, the protons and neutrons are now happily married to each other. Some of them even doubled up. Great news, the electrons have now joined in. Congratulations, the world is now a bunch of gas in space. But it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. And it's getting closer together. It's a star. New shit got made. Some stars burn out and die. Bigger stars burn out and die with passion and make some brand new, way crazier space dust, which allows newer, more interesting stars to be made and then die and explode into even crazier space dust. So now stars have cool stuff around them, like rocks, ice, and funny clouds, which can make some very interesting things. Like this ball of flaming rocks, for example. We just got hit with another ball of flaming rocks, and it kind of made a mess, which is now... Weather update, it's raining rocks from outer space. Weather update, those rocks might have had water inside them and now there's hot steam in the sky. Weather update, cooler temperatures today and the floor is no longer lava. Weather update, it's raining. Severe flooding alert, the entire world is now an ocean. Volcano alert, that's land. There's life in the ocean. What? Something's alive in the ocean. Oh cool, like a plant or an animal? No, a microscopic speck. It lives at the bottom of the ocean and eats chemical soup, which is being served hot and fresh, made from gnarly space ingredients left over from when it was raining rocks or whatever. Oh yeah, and it can do that. It has secret instructions written inside itself telling it how to build another one of itself. So that's pretty nifty, I would say. Tired of living at the bottom of the ocean? Now you can eat sunlight. Using a revolutionary technique, you can convert sunlight into food. Taste the sun. Side effect, now there's oxygen everywhere and the sky's blue. Then the Earth might have been a snowball for a while, maybe even a couple of times. It's a sponge, it's a plant, it's a worm and some other types of weird strange water bugs and strange fish. It's the Cambrian explosion. Wow, that's animals and stuff. But we're still in the ocean. Hey, can we go on land? No. Why? The sun is a deadly laser. Oh, okay. Not anymore, there's a blanket. Now the animals can go on land. Come on, animals, let's go on land. Nope, can't walk yet. And there's no food yet, so I don't care. Okay, will you learn to walk if there's plants up here? Maybe, said some bugs. And fish. Okay, so I can go on land, but I have to go back in the water to have babies. Learn to use an egg.
I was already doing that.
Use a stronger egg. Put water in it. Have a baby on land in an egg. Water is in the egg. Baby in the egg, in the water, in the egg. Works for me. Bye-bye, ocean. And now everything's huge, including bugs. Want to see a map of the land? Sure. Oh, now everything's dead. Just kidding, here are the survivors. Keep your eye on this one because it's about to become the dinosaurs. Here's another map of the land. Yeah, it broke apart, don't worry about it, it does that all the time. Here comes a meteor. And the dinosaurs are gone. It's mammal time, here come the mammals. Look at those breasts. Now they're gonna dominate the world, and one of them just learned how to grab stuff. And walk. No, like, walk like that. And grab stuff at the same time. And bang rocks together to make pointed rocks. Ouch. And set things on fire. Youch. And make crazy sounds with their voice. Knirsch, which can mean different things. That's a human person. And now they're everywhere. Almost. Ice Age. What? You can walk over here? Cool. Not anymore. Well, I guess we're stuck here now. Let's review. There's people on the planet. And they're chasing their food. Time to plant some grass. Look at this. I control the food now. Now everyone will want to be my friend and live near me. Let's all build houses, except mine is bigger because I own the food. This is great. I wonder if anyone else is doing this. Tired of using rocks for everything? Use metal. It's underground. Better farming was just invented in a sweet dank valley right in between these two rivers, and the animals are helping. Guess what happens next? More food, and more people who came to buy the food. Now you need people to help make the food and keep track of the sales. And now you need houses for people to live in and people to make the houses. And now there's more people and they invent things, which makes things better. And more people come and there's more farming and more people to make more things for more people. And now there's business, money, writing, laws, power. Society. Coming soon to a dank river valley near you. Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, the horse is probably being tamed. Why is all my metal so lame and lumpy? Tired of using lame, sad metal? Introducing bronze, made with special ingredient tin from the far lands of Tinland. I don't know, my dealer won't tell me where he gets it. Also, guess what? Egypt! Meanwhile, out in the middle of nowhere, they figured out how to put wheels on a horse. Now we're getting somewhere. Also, China! And did I mention Indus River Valley Civilization? The Middle East is getting more complicated, maybe because it's in the middle of the East. Knock knock, or clop clop, it's the people with the horses. And they made an empire, and then everyone else copied their horses. Greeks! Ah look, it must be the Greeks, or a beta version of the Greeks. Let's check in with the Indus River Valley Civilization. They're gone. Guess who's not gone? China. New arrivals in India. Maybe it's those horse people I was talking about, or their cousins or something. And they wrote some hymns and mantras and stuff. You could make a religion out of this. There's the Bronze Age collapse. Now the Phoenicians can get down to business. Also, can we switch to a metal that's a little easier to find? Thanks. Look who came back to Israel. It's the 12 tribes of Israel. And they believe in God. Just one, though. He's got like a 10-step program. Here's some huge heads. Must be the Olmecs. The Phoenicians make some colonies. The Greeks copy their idea and make some colonies. The Phoenicians made a colony so big it makes colonies. Here comes the Assyrian Empire. Never mind, it's the Babylonian, Median. It's the Persian Empire. Wow, that's big. Ah, the Buddha was just enlightened. Who's the Buddha? This guy, who sat under a tree for so long that he figured out how to ignore the fact that we're all dying. You can make a religion out of this. Oops, China just broke, but while it was breaking, Confucius was figuring out how to have good morals. Ah, the Greeks just had the idea of thinking about stuff. And right over here, Alexander just had the idea of conquering the entire Persian Empire. It's a great idea. He was great. And now he's dead. Hopefully the rest of the gang will be able to share the empire evenly between them. Knock knock, it's Chandragupta. He says, get out of here if I give you 500 elephants? Okay, thanks, bye. Time to conquer all of India. Or most of India. But what about this part? That's the Tamil Kings. No one conquers the Tamil Kings. Who are the Tamil Kings? Merchants, probably. And they've got spices. Who would like to buy the spices? Me, said the Arabians, swiftly buying it and selling it to the rest of the world. Hey, China put itself back together again, with good morals as their main philosophy. Actually, they have 3 main philosophies. Out here, the horse nomads run wild and free, and they would like to ransack your city. Let's check the Greekification levels of the Greekified kingdoms. Greekification overload. Bye, said the Parthians. Bye, said the Jews. Hi, said the Parthians, taking over the entire place. Hey, said the Romans, eating the entire Mediterranean for breakfast. Thanks for invading our homeland, said the Jews, who were starting to get tired of people invading their homeland. Hi, everything's great, said some guy who seems to be getting very popular and is then arrested and killed for being too popular, which only makes him more popular. You can make a religion out of this. Want silk? Now you can buy it from China. They just made a brand new road to the world. Or you can get their own water. Sick, new trade routes, said India, accidentally spreading their religion to the entire southeast. That's a good place for an epic trading kingdom. There goes Buddhism traveling up the Silk Road. I wonder if it'll reach China before it collapses again. Remember the Persian Empire? Yep, said the Persians, making a new one. Axum is getting so powerful they would like to build a long stick. Has anyone populated Madagascar yet? Let's do it together. China's home again. Then it broke again. Still can't cross the Sahara Desert? Try camels. Yeah, now we got business, said the Ghana Empire, selling lots of gold and slaves. Hi, I live in the Roman Empire, and I was wondering, is loving Jesus legal yet? No. Actually, okay, sure, said Constantine, moving the capital way over here to be closer to his main rival. Don't worry about Rome, it won't fall. It's the golden age of India. There's the Gupta Empire, not Chandragupta, just Gupta. First name Chandra, the first. Guess who's in Rome? Barbarians. What's a barbarian? Non-Romans, said the Romans, being invaded by non-Romans. R.I.P. Roman Empire. Or actually just half of it. The other half is just fine. But it's not in Rome anymore, so let's give it a new name. The Mayans have figured out the stars. Oh, and here's a huge city. Population everyone. The Gokturks have taken over the entire Eurasian steppe. Great job, Gokturks. How's India? Broken. How's China? Back together. How's those trading kingdoms? Bigger and there's more of them. Korea has 3 kingdoms. Japan has a kingdom. It's the Sunrise Kingdom. Deep in the Arabian desert, on the top of a mountain, the real God whispers in Muhammad's ear. So he goes down to the cube where everyone worships gods, and he tells them their gods are all fake. And everyone got so mad at him that he had to leave town and go to a different town. You can make a religion out of this, and maybe conquer the world as well. The Roman Empire is long gone, but somehow the Pope is still the Pope. Plus there's new kingdoms all over Europe. I wonder if there's room for Moors. Here's all the wisdom. In a house. It's the Baghdad House of Wisdom, just in time for the Islamic Golden Age. Let's bring stuff to the coast and sell it and become the Swahili on the Swahili coast, said the Swahili on the Swahili coast. Remember this tiny space you have to go through to get from here to there? Someone owns that now. Want to get enlightened in the middle of nowhere? The Franks have the biggest kingdom in Europe, and the Pope is so proud that he invites the king over for Christmas. Surprise, you're the new Roman emperor, said the Pope, pretending to still be part of the Roman Empire. Then the Franks broke their kingdom into what will later be called France and not France. The Northerners, or just Norse if you don't have much time, are exploring. They go north, from the north to the northern north, and they find some land, 2 types of land, and they name them accordingly. They also invade some other places and get called many names, such as Vikings. There's the Rus, the Kievan Rus. Are they Vikings? I don't think so, said the Kievan Rus. Okay, fair enough. The Pope is ready to make some more emperors of the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire. It's actually Germany, but don't worry about it. New kingdoms.
Christianize all the kingdoms.
Which brand would you like? Mine's better, mine's better, mine's better. Time to conquer England, said William. It's a bird, it's a plane. It's the Seljuk Turks, said the Byzantine Empire, who's getting so small it almost doesn't exist anymore. We need help. They need help, so they call the Pope. Hey Pope, can you help us get rid of the Seljuks? Maybe take back the Holy Land on the way? Come on, I know you want to take back the Holy Land. Yes, I do actually want to do that. Let's do a crusade. Crusade! They did many crusades, some of which almost didn't fail, but at least the Italians got some sweet trade deals. Goodbye, Mayans. Hello, Toltecs. Goodbye, Toltecs. Hello, Mississippi. Look at those mounds. There's the Pueblo. I always wondered how to build a town in a cliff. Guess who's here? Come here. Where? Here. And Pagan is there. Vietnam unconquered itself, Korea just became itself, and Japan is so addicted to art that the military might have to take over the government. China just invented bombs and typing. And the Mongols just invaded most of the universe. Nice going, Genghis. I bet that will last a long time. Some of the Islamic Turks were unaffected by the Mongol invasions because they were busy invading India. Is it Tonga time? I think it's Tonga time. I just found out where the Swahili gets all their gold. Look at this Chad. Means lake. There's an empire there. Right in the middle of Africa. The king of Mali is so rich he's going on tour to let everyone know. Wow, that guy's rich, everyone said. The Christians are doing a great job reconquering Iberia, which will soon be called Spain and not Spain. Please remain Christian. We will check in later to see if you're still Christian when you least expect. Whoops, half of Europe just died. China's back, yay! Hey, come here, time to share. New kingdoms here and there. Oh, look who controls all the islands. It's the Mahajapit, Majahapit, Mapajahit, Mahapajit, Mapajahit, Majapahit. Oh, Italy's really rich. Time for them to care a lot about art and the ancient classics. It's kind of like a rebirth. Here's a printer, let's make books. So you think you can conquer the Byzantine Empire? Yep, said the Ottoman Turks. Nice job, Ottoman Turks. Oops, you missed a spot. Don't forget to ban Europe from the Indian spice trade. What? That's said Portugal, spiceless. Well, I guess we'll have to find another way to India. Wait, said Christopher Columbus, probably smoking crack. If the world is round, let's go this way to India. No, don't worry, we already got this, said Portugal. So Chris goes to Spain. Hey, Spain, want to hire me to find India by going around back of the world? No, please, no, please, no, please. Okay. So he sails into the ocean and discovers more ocean, and then discovers the Indies and Japan. Let's draw a line to decide who gets which half of the world. The Aztec and Inca empires are off to a great start. I wonder if they know that Europe just discovered their continent. The Habsburgs are marrying into so many royal families they might have to start marrying each other. Move over, Lithuania. Here comes Moscow. Ivan wants to make Russia great again. Move over, Timurids. Maybe go invade India or something. Persia just made Persia Persian again. Let's make it the other kind of Islam. The one where we thought the first guy should have been the other guy. Hey Christians, do you sin? Now you can buy your way out of hell. This whole thing is damn the church. Here's 95 reasons why, said Martin Luther in his new book, which might have accidentally started the Protestant Reformation. You know what would be magnificent, said Suleiman wearing an onion hat? What if the Ottoman Empire was really big, which it is now? What if Russia was big, said Ivan, trying not to be terrible. Portugal had a dream that they controlled the entire Indian Ocean, including the spice trade. And then that dream was real. And Spain realized that this is not India, but they pillaged it anyway, said England and France. We gotta start pillaging some stuff. Then the Dutch revolt and all the hipsters moved to Amsterdam, said Amsterdam. We gotta start pillaging some stuff. Question 1, can you get to India through North America? No, but at least there's beaver. Question 2, steal the spice trade. That's not a question, but the Dutch did it anyway. Guess where all the sugar's made? In Brazil. Stolen. In the Caribbean. And it's so goddamn profitable you might forget to not do slavery. The next thing on Russia's to-do list is to get bigger. Britain and France are having a friendly discussion about who should control the entire world, more specifically Ohio. Then it escalates into a 7-year discussion, giving Prussia a chance to show Austria who's boss. But what about Britain and France? Did they figure out who's boss? Yes, they did. It's Britain. Guess who's broke? Also Britain. So they start taxing out of America. Who says America? Declaring their independence and fighting for it. And France helps them win. Now France is broke. And Britain will have to send their prisoners to a different continent. Wait, if France is broke, why do the king and queen still wear such fancy dresses? Let's overthrow the palace and cut all their heads off, said Robespierre, cutting everybody's head off until someone eventually got mad and cut his head off. You could make a No, don't. Haiti is starting to like the idea of a revolution, especially the slaves, who free themselves by killing their masters. Why didn't we think of this before? Wait, who's in charge of France now? Said Napoleon, trying to take over Europe. Luckily, they banished him to an island. But he came back. Luckily, they banished him to another island. There goes Latin America, becoming independent in the Latin American Wars of Independence. Britain just figured out how to turn steam into power, so now they can make many different types of machines and factories with machines in them, so they can make a lot of products real fast. Then they invent some trains, and conquer India and maybe put some trains there. Hey, China, said Britain, buy stuff from us. Nah, dude, we already got everything, says China. So Britain tried to get them addicted to opium, which worked, actually. But then China made it illegal and dumped it all into the sea. So Britain threw a hissy fit and made them open up 5 cities and give them an island. Britain and Russia are playing a game where they try to stop each other from conquering Afghanistan. Also, the Sultan of Oman lives in Zanzibar now. That's just where he lives. India just had a revolution, and they would like to govern themselves now. Nope, said Britain, governing them even harder than before. Technology is about to go crazy. The United States finally figured out whether slavery is good or bad. It's bad, they decided. And then they continued manifesting their destiny, which is to kill the rest of the natives and take their land and maybe kick out the Mexicans too. I know, let Africa, said Europe, scrambling to see who bit the fastest. They never got Ethiopia. Britain and France are still hungry. They never got Thailand. The United States ran out of destiny to manifest, so they're looking for more. Hawaii, Cuba. Wait, Spain controls Cuba. Well, blame something on them and go to war. What should we blame on Spain? Let's blame the Maine on Spain. So they blame the Maine on Spain. Now we're in business. To celebrate, they kick Panama out of Panama and make a canal, connecting the 2 oceans. Britain just found oil in the Middle East. It makes cars go. China is so tired of being bossed around that they delete their old government and make a new, stronger government, which is accidentally weaker and controlled by a guy from the previous government. Europe hasn't had a war since the last war, so they start World War I. Look at those guns. It's gonna be a great war. So great we won't need a second one. After it's over, they blame Germany. Russia went on strike and the workers overthrew the government. Now everyone's paycheck is the same. Communism in the Soviet Union. The Arabs revolt and Britain helps. Now the Ottoman Empire's gone, so we can give the Jewish people a place to live. Hopefully the Arabs won't mind. Let's cut the cake, said Sykes and Picot, carving up the remains of the not-so-Ottoman-anymore empire. Except Turkey. Turkey makes a brand new Turkey. And then the Saudis conquer Arabia. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Hello? Yes, it's the 1920s calling. Let's get in the car and drive to a party and listen to jazz on the radio and go to the movies. The economy's great and it'll probably be great forever. Just kidding. Germany's back featuring Hitler, the angry mustache model, and he's mad at the Jews for existing. Japan is finally conquering the East, and they're so excited they Nanking way too hard. They should probably just deny it. Hitler's out of control, so the international community tackles him and tries to explain why killing all the Jews is a bad idea, but he kills himself before they could explain it to him. That's World War II. Bonus round, Pacific Showdown. United States versus Japan. Fight. Finish him. Let's unite all the nations and have some world peace. Seems legit. Hi, I'm Gandhi, and if Britain doesn't get out of India, I'm going to starve myself in public. Wow, that worked. Bonus, now there's Pakistan. Actually, 2 Pakistans. One of them could be Bangladesh later. The Jews and the Arabs finally figured out which one of them should live in the Holy Land. Me, they both said at the same time. Let's divide up the land so everyone's happy. Psych! They both get angrier. Look out, China. There's a new China in China. What's on the menu? Communism. No thanks, said the other China, escaping to an island. I wonder which one is the real China. There's the Korean War, Korea versus Korea. Nobody wins, then it's on pause forever. Let's meet the sponsors. Oh, it's the 2 global superpowers. They're having a friendly debate over which economic system is good and which one is an evil virus of Satan. And they both have atom bombs. Fight! Wait, no, that would be the end of the world. Let's just keep it cool and spy on each other instead. And make sure we have enough atom bombs. I'll race you to space. Now let's make some more countries fight themselves. Europe is tired of pillaging other continents, and the continents they were pillaging are tired of being pillaged. So here's a new map with new countries. Now you can't tell who they're being pillaged by. The United States finally decided whether racism is good or bad. They decided it's bad, and the world agrees. South Africa might need another minute to think about it. Let's check the world population. Whoa. Okay. Technology's better too, that might keep happening. The Soviet Union decides to relax a little and accidentally falls apart. Europe makes a union, so now they can all use the same money, except Britain because they don't feel like it. Let's check the mail. Surprise, it's on the computer. Whoops, someone just attacked America. I bet they'll remember that. Phone call. Surprise, it's in your pocket. Want to learn everything? Surprise, it's on the computer. Now your phone's a computer, which is in your pocket. Whoops, the economy just crashed. Don't worry, the big banks won't fail because they're not supposed to. Surprise, flying robots. With bombs. Want to print a brain? Some people have no friends. Some people have no food. The globe is warming. And the ocean is full of plastic. Let's save the planet, said everybody, not knowing how. Let's invent a thing inventor, said the thing inventor after being invented by a thing inventor. That's pretty cool. By the way, where the hell are we?